In this financial education video about middle-class lifestyle protection, you'll learn the exact budget strategy that prevents financial pressure from collapsing your security, something most people building emergency funds completely miss. Most people manage their money by following standard advice. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses, track your budget, cut unnecessary costs. But smart money managers know that approach creates a dangerous illusion. The difference? They understand financial pressure works like atmospheric pressure. By the end, you'll have a clear financial plan to protect your lifestyle from hidden volatility without sacrificing what matters. But there's one mistake 71% of middle-class households make that quietly destroys their safety net. Stay with me because I'm going to show you exactly what it is, and the emergency fund you're building right now might be part of the problem. Here's what most people miss about financial security in a volatile economy. You follow the rules, you save money every month, you track expenses, you cut subscriptions. You build that emergency fund to 3 months of income like every financial advisor tells you, and you feel protected, safe. But here's the truth nobody wants you to see. Traditional financial advice was designed for a stable economy, which means in financial terms, it assumes steady income growth, predictable expenses, and minimal market volatility. That world doesn't exist anymore. Think about it this way, your financial system is like atmospheric pressure at different altitudes. At sea level, everything's stable, your budget breathes easy. Income covers expenses with room to spare. But the middle class today, you're living at high altitude without realizing it. Housing costs climbed 24% in 3 years. Healthcare premiums rose 7% annually. Childcare expenses doubled in major cities. Your salary increased maybe 3%. You're ascending into thinner air, and standard budgeting advice keeps telling you to just breathe normally. Now here's where it gets dangerous. Most middle-class families experience what researchers call microvolatility, small expense spikes that hit multiple times per year. A $380 car repair, a $520 medical bill, a $240 home emergency. None of these individually destroys your budget, but collectively, they create financial altitude sickness. The problem isn't that you're not saving enough. The problem is your money management system was built for sea-level stability, and you're operating in a high-pressure environment where the rules changed. Every dollar you earn has to work harder just to maintain the same lifestyle. So what's the real solution? How do you build protection that actually works when economic pressure keeps rising? That answer starts with understanding why your current emergency fund strategy might be making you more vulnerable, not less. Let me show you what's really happening to your money. Standard advice says build 3 to 6 months of expenses in savings. Sounds solid, right? But here's the part they don't tell you, that number assumes your expenses stay constant. They won't. A 2025 study tracking middle-class households found that 68% experienced at least 2 significant expense spikes per year, and each spike averaged 3 weeks of income. Your budget isn't stable. It's a moving target in an unpredictable environment. Think of your financial system like cabin pressure in an aircraft. At high altitude, you need oxygen flow, pressure regulation, backup systems. But most people are building emergency funds like they're still at sea level, just stockpiling air in a tank, hoping it's enough when turbulence hits. The issue: 3 types of financial pressure leak out silently. First, lifestyle inflation at altitude. You got a raise, great. But instead of increasing your oxygen supply, your savings, you upgraded to a higher altitude, bigger apartment, newer car, premium subscriptions. Now you need more financial pressure just to breathe normally. Your emergency fund covers old you expenses, but current you burns through cash 18% faster without noticing. Second, hidden microleaks nobody tracks. Banking fees, interest on small balances, subscription renewals you forgot, auto-renewals on services you don't use. Individually, these cost $12 here, $23 there. Cumulatively, the average middle-class household loses $780 annually to financial pressure leaks they never see. That's 3 weeks of emergency fund evaporating into thin air. Third, psychological decompression failure. Here's the brutal part. When financial pressure spikes, you lose hours at work, unexpected bill hits, car breaks down, your brain enters crisis mode. Studies show 73% of people make worse financial decisions under pressure. You panic. You pull from the emergency fund for a $320 expense, but then add a $180 stress purchase because your cortisol is spiked. The emergency cost you $500, not $320. Your emergency fund isn't protecting you. It's a pressure valve that releases when you're already in crisis, and it doesn't prevent the next spike. So what actually works? What do financially secure middle-class families do differently? They don't just build emergency funds. They engineer pressure-resistant financial systems, meaning in financial terms, they create layered protection that absorbs shocks, eliminates microleaks, and maintains stability even when external conditions get worse. Let me show you exactly how that works. Here's the three-step system that protects your lifestyle at any altitude. Step 1. Seal the microleaks first. Before you add $1 more to savings, audit every automatic charge for 60 days. Bank fees, unused subscriptions, services on auto-renew. Most families find $520 to $780 in annual leaks they didn't know existed. Cancel ruthlessly. That's not cutting lifestyle, that's plugging holes in your pressure system so the oxygen you create actually stays in your budget. Step 2. Build altitude-specific reserves. Forget the generic 3 months of expenses rule. Calculate your actual vulnerability. How many income streams do you have? One job, you need 6 months minimum. Freelance or gig work, 9 months. Supporting dependents, 12 months. Your reserve isn't about hitting a number, it's about creating enough pressure buffer that unexpected expenses don't cause decompression. Here's the key: don't save in one lump sum. Create 3 separate altitude zones. Zone 1, $2,000 accessible instantly for microshocks. Zone 2, 1 month of core expenses and high-yield savings for medium emergencies. Zone 3, 3 to 6 months in a separate account you never touch except for severe income loss. Layered protection prevents you from draining everything for a $380 car repair. Step 3. Install automatic pressure regulation. The secret wealthy families know: automation removes psychology from the equation. Set up this exact sequence: paycheck hits. Immediately 15% transfers to Zone 3, then 10% to Zone 2, then 5% to Zone 1. Bills pay automatically. What's left is yours to manage. Why this order matters: you're funding protection before lifestyle. Most people do it backwards. They spend first, save what's left. That's trying to pressurize a cabin after takeoff. It doesn't work. Build the system so pressure regulation happens automatically and you're free to live without constant financial anxiety. Now, this all sounds logical on paper, but let me show you what it actually looks like when someone implements this system in real life. Her name was Lauren, 33 years old, elementary teacher in Orlando making $3,450 a month, married 4 years, no kids yet but planning, living paycheck to paycheck despite doing everything right. Lauren had $2,100 in savings, tracked every expense in a spreadsheet, canceled Netflix twice, meal prepped on Sundays, but every month something hit: $240 dental bill, $380 car insurance spike, $190 vet emergency. The savings account would drain to $680, rebuild to $1,900, drain again. One night at 11:27 p.m., Lauren sat in her kitchen with her laptop open, staring at a negative balance, $47. A surprise medical bill for $520 had auto-drafted a week early. Her stomach dropped. She checked the account that morning. It showed $473. How? She scrolled through transactions. $18 bank overdraft from last month she forgot about. $23 subscription renewal she thought she canceled. $12 in ATM fees. Microleaks she never tracked. The pressure was invisible until it collapsed everything. That's when Lauren stopped following generic advice. She implemented the 3-zone system, closed the checking account with fees, opened a no-fee account, automated 15% to untouchable savings, 10% to medium reserve, 5% to instant buffer. Day 1 felt restrictive. She had $280 less to manage. Day 12, first microshock hit, $150 home repair, pulled from Zone 1, didn't touch the other accounts. Day 30, Zone 3 had $517, more than she'd ever saved in one stretch. Day 90, car needed $420 in repairs. Used Zone 2, rebuilt it in 6 weeks. Day 120, Lauren's husband lost 18 hours of overtime for 3 weeks. They didn't panic, Zone 3 covered the gap. 7 months later, Lauren had $6,200 total across 3 zones. But more than that, she stopped checking her bank account at midnight. The pressure system worked automatically. She could breathe. Financial security isn't about earning more. It's about building a system that holds pressure when altitude changes without warning. So here's what I want you to do right now. Close your eyes for 5 seconds and picture this. It's 3 months from today. An unexpected expense hits $450 and you don't feel panic. You don't check your main account nervously. You calmly pull from Zone 1 and life continues. That's not fantasy. That's what pressure-resistant systems create. Now ask yourself, what's the actual cost of staying where you are? Every month you delay sealing microleaks, you lose $65 to $85 in preventable financial pressure. Every month you build one generic emergency fund instead of layered zones, you increase the chance that one shock drains everything. You don't need permission to change this. You don't need a higher salary. You need to stop managing money like you're at sea level when you're living at high altitude. The middle-class financial system is broken by design. It tells you to save more, spend less, and hope for stability that doesn't exist anymore. But you're smarter than that. You understand pressure, you understand volatility, and you're about to engineer protection that actually works in the economy you live in, not the one financial advisors wish still existed. This is your moment to reprogram your financial operating system. If this changed how you see money management, do me a favor. Comment the word zones below. That tells me you're ready to build pressure-resistant systems instead of hoping generic advice protects you. And if this video helped you see the invisible leaks draining your financial security, hit that like button. It helps me keep creating content like this. Click the video on screen next for the exact step-by-step process to automate your 3-zone system in under 10 minutes. Subscribe for weekly financial education focused on middle-class protection strategies that work in volatile economies, not outdated advice from stable markets that don't exist anymore.